Morning everybody, Graham once again from Unearthed, out early this morning. And why am I out early? This will give you a reason why. The legend. The legend's here. Right, come on, let's get down and let's get on with the task at hand. And the first look at the Nokta Legend. I'm rather excited about it, but I have to say, I'm also rather nervous about it as well, because there's been that many different YouTube videos flying around out there about the Nokta Legend. Some of them are very, very good. I'm going to have to be on my toes here. I only opened it yesterday, I unboxed it, I used it very briefly on the beach, and it worked very well, even though I didn't have the settings correct. Let's see what today brings, folks. I'm hiding from the sun because it's that bright. Let's get down them fields. I'll feed the sheep on the way down, and we'll hopefully get to the bottom of the Nokta Legend. I think it'll be a cracking machine. Right, see you down there, folks. Right, that's them fat wallops being fed, and they're gonna get out of my way very quickly because they'll just chase me, and we'll get down the fields. Let's go. Everything's on board. Rather exciting about this Nokta Legend. I've already had a quick scan at some of the settings and its features and its interface, and I think it's going to be a damn good detector. I really do. But we'll see. I'm going to talk you through the settings as best I know them. We'll take it over the test bed. The wind's blowing from the north, so I do apologise for any wind, but when we get down onto these lower fields we should be okay. But what a brilliant day to test the new Nokta Legend. I've been waiting for it for months, and now it's kindly here courtesy of Nokta themselves, shipped by Leisure Promotion, so a big thank you to them. Even though they are competitors, we do work in partnership with these guys, and let's just see how we get on with it, folks. So without further ado, let's get set up and let's have a look at this wonderful machine, hopefully. Right everybody, we have arrived to the lower fields here, so we're out of the wind a little bit, and the reason why I'm knelt down is quite apparent actually. I've got two detectors lying alongside me. Now I've brought the simplex out, and the reason is because I'm getting a lot of messages. He says, removing a fly from the microphone, I'm getting a lot of messages off people just saying, oh, it's a simplex in disguise. Is it a simplex plus? Is it the simplex 2? Hopefully this will put it to bed. This isn't anything like the simplex. It's a completely different animal. It may look similar. You know, why reinvent the wheel when the simplex was such a good machine, housing wise, body wise, external features wise. But let's just have a look, and I'll give you some indication. It will give you some indication the difference between these two machines. Here we are. As you can see, the Legend is on the left, the simplex is on the right. First glance you think, oh, they're a very similar machine, but there is some differences, folks, quite a lot. So if I kneel down, arm cups pretty much the same, the grip pretty much the same. However, the housing is slightly different, slightly bulkier, as you can see from the simplex. Much more buttons and much more features on the Legend, which we'll see soon. And then we've got a carbon lower stem onto the multi-frequency coil, different to the standard simplex coil. Now I haven't got the carbon shaft on the simplex, on my simplex, and having these two in my hand, the Legend is actually lighter. And whether that's something to do with the carbon stem, I'm not sure, but it is a lighter machine in the hand. Now, a lot of people are asking, can the simplex coils fit onto the Legend? And the answer is quite simple, no, they can't. This is a true multi-frequency metal detector. The simplex is a single frequency detector. The coils don't match. No matter what coil you put on this machine from the simplex, it simply won't work. And be very, very careful, don't fall into the trap of doing it. The SP24, SP28 will not fit the Legend. The Legend has its own set of coils matched to that particular detector, and that is pretty much as far as it goes, folks. So there you can see both machines lying side by side. Like I said before, I have had a little run out with the Legend already, and I actually like it. I was a little bit apprehensive about doing this film because there's so many different films now showing on YouTube. which is good, which is showing that there's a lot of creativity out there. There's a lot of people really interested in this detector. But this is our take on it, or certainly Unearthed take on it, and mine. I'm hoping beyond all hope that I can give you just a little bit of advice and guidance in how this machine operates, its features, and we'll give it a run on the test bed at the end to see how it performs. So let's have a look at the interface. We'll switch the machine on and just see. Right, here it is, the first turn on. Very simplistic. This button here, you turn it on and immediately see LD on the screen, which means loading or load. Don't be frightened about these signs that come up necessarily. Load is quite normal, and you'll hear the beep, and then you'll see the menu system. So let's just have a quick look. I don't want to baffle you with too much waffle, but it's pretty much straightforward. As you can see, I'll use this stick as a pointer because, believe it or not, I actually brought a pen to just a point on the screen, and I've lost it on the way down in the quad. It must have bounced off the quad because I had it on the front. Teaches me a lesson. So we've got this box here, which is indicating I'm in the field mode, and you've got to the left of that park. To the right of field mode you've got beach, and at the very end you've got gold, which we're not going to explore today, folks. I don't think we're going to have too much in the way of looking at the gold mode. Who knows in the future, but at the moment definitely not. And let's just go through some more of the things that you can see on the screen. Top left is your battery. As you can see, I've charged this so it's full bars. On the right of the screen, for the first time, we've got, well, first time I've used a detector with a clock on it. Now I haven't set the time, so it's still early morning, but this is set at 20 to 3. But it's not 20 to 3, folks. It's about 10 o'clock, if that. And then you've got other features. So you're going to wonder what all these different things are. This M here is telling me I'm in multi-frequency, and the one below that is telling me I'm in multi-1. And then you've got the horseshoe, which indicates all metal. On the left-hand side, this little graph is your sensitivity, which is very, very simple. Your sensitivity is basically your plus and minus. So if I crank that up, you can see the sensitivity going up. Keep pressing it. It's got numbers at the top. 25's 30 is maximum. As you can hear, the machine starting to chirp, so we'll back that off while we're doing this little demo, and we'll put it down to about well, we'll put it down to 10. So that's the basics out of the way. Now you're going to wonder what all these dials are for, these buttons. This is ground balance on the far right. You've got all metal on the left. This changes your frequencies. You've got pinpoint mode here. You've got the plus and minus tick here. You've got the adjustable plus and minus for your volume and your sensitivity and others. And you've got your on off, and this is your menu. So it's very, very straightforward actually. So let's just go through some of the things. So if I press this button here, just to the left of the on off, it brings up this menu at the bottom. Now this is important. I hope this helps. You can see the two arrows. That it then is going to now, hopefully, is your noise cancel. So if you press this button here, it's going to search through the channels. 1, 2, 3, 4. The machine's now searching for a quiet channel. Can she find one? Yep, she's found channel 11. So the machine's found channel 11 automatically. I would suggest that people do this before they start detecting. Do the noise cancel, and we'll come out with that. We'll go back into the menu, and you go across, and it brings up this little icon here, which is your recovery speed. Now I've got this on 5. Let's just go through the recovery speed, because a lot of people that are going to be using the Legend are going to use the recovery speed a lot. So we're on 5. The higher you go, the faster this machine becomes, but the less depth it has. So maximum at 10, and we can drop it all the way down to 1. So if you were detecting on really clean pasture, nice and slow, you would get a real increase in depth using recovery speed 1, but the separation isn't going to be there. So if we put this back to 5, it's halfway, and then we're not going to get into too much trouble there. Just while we're on this, I think this is important actually. We're in field, as you can see. We're in multi. If we press this button here, put the stick down, Rushy lad, it goes into multi 2. Now the differences between multi 1 and multi 2 are probably, I'll have to do a little bit of homework on it, but my understanding is It's a little bit like the Equinoxes. You've got multi-1, multi-2. It'll be different, slightly different performance in multi-1 than multi-2 on low conductors, high conductors, that sort of thing. But I need to get a bit more clarification on that, folks. But I think, as far as I can digest, that's what it is. So if you press this again, we pressed it once and it come over to multi-2. Press it again, I come out of multi-frequency and I go into, as you can see there, 4 kilohertz, single frequency 4 kilohertz. Press it again, single frequency 10. Press it again, single frequency 15. Press it again, single frequency 20. And the last one is single frequency 40 kilohertz. Press it again, it comes back into multi-1. Multi-1 is what I'm going to be using it on for this test, but it gives you an idea of how to come out of multi-frequency into single frequency, high single frequency detecting, which might work on some of these really iron strewn sites that you may want to work on. 40 kilohertz, 20 kilohertz can do the business, remember. So don't rule out ever searching in single frequency. This detector's two metal detectors rolled into one. It's a high frequency detector. As you can see, you can use it on 15, 20, 40 kilohertz, or you can, as a click of a button, put it back into multi-frequency. Excellent machine. So we'll go back into the settings. So we've done the recovery speed. The next one, he says, press it, Rushy lad. There we go. The next one's volume, which is the machine's volume. So it's on 6, which is maximum. You can drop it down to nothing. Have it on 6 so you can hear. That's the loudest this machine will go. Not the headphones, remember, this is the volume of the machine. And the next one's a very interesting one. It brings up a sub-menu above, and this is for your number of tones. So you can set your number of tones on this machine. So there's 2 tone. If we go down 1, that'd be a monotone. A 1 tone for everything, which is interesting. Some of the old T2s, F75s had a 1 tone, if you remember, a monotone. So we put it on the plus again. So it's a 2 tone setup, 4 tone setup, 6 tone and 60. And in between that you can alter your tones if you wish. So we'll put it on 2 tone just for ease of use. Low tones for sort of iron, high tones for anything potentially desirable. Then on the menu again, you've got all these different menu settings around tones. So you can actually set the tones to whatever your requirement is. You can customize this machine so you can have louder, more high-pitched tones for certain objects, low tones and low pitches for other objects. And you can also, which is interesting, have this bit here is your threshold. If you want to search with your threshold, you can go across the menu to threshold. You can just see that humming. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but it's humming away. I'm not a threshold user, but a lot of people are to great success. And then you can alter the sound of the threshold as well by this one here, which is interesting. So we come out of that menu again, we go back into it, and we come across to the next little man there, you can see. And that is your customized channels, customized programs. So you can use your own customized programs, whichever you wish, tone settings, threshold, depending on which mode you want to search in. Really interactive. The next one across is brightness. Now it's on 0. We don't need the brightness on because the sun's shining. But if you're detecting in low light conditions, this actually goes all the way up to 5, and it goes over to the A1, and then you've got to go all the way back to knock it off again. And you'll get a little icon that comes up at the top here showing you that the light's on. So just remember, if you leave the light on, it'll drain the battery quicker. Just keep an eye on that little icon. So I'm going to knock that off, and we're going to go over cross now, which is a really interesting feature, I think, folks. You can see these little wiggly lines, which means vibrate. So if I grab hold of this, the handle of this machine, and I alter this, I don't know if you can hear that, but as I'm adjusting it, this handle is vibrating, and it goes all the way up to 5. 5's a really strong vibrate, and the reason is you go over a decent target with your vibrate on, this handle's going to vibrate, so that people with really poor hearing can get a really good response from this detector through its vibration system. So I'm getting vibration now as I'm knocking it back off and down, and of course zeros with the vibration off. So again, you go into vibrate mode, you can set this to whatever you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think that is a wonderful feature. I was talking to somebody this morning about this feature, about the vibrate mode. Why haven't other detectors got it, folks? Again, Nokta have knocked it out of the park putting that feature on, just like some of their earlier machines. The next one is flashlight. So if I turn this on, you're not going to see this because it's broad daylight, but if I just press that, you can see a little light icon come up at the top. That now is shining an LED light to the coil. So if you're detecting in low light conditions and you have that on, your coil area where you're searching is lit up. I think that's another really cool feature. However, don't leave it on, folks, because eventually it'll drain your battery down. So we're going to knock that off. It's just a one button system. There's no adjustable dim or bright light. It's just on or off. The next one is for your headphones. I'm going to show you your headphones in a little bit for your Bluetooth. Next across on the menu is your time here to adjust. You can either have it in 24 hours or 48 hours. I've got it in 48 hours. Sorry, I've got it in 24 hours or 12 hours. I've got it in 24. I do apologise for saying 48. And the next one across is interesting. So you've got your far right hand side on the menu lit up here, little egg timer. That's telling me how long I've used my machine, how many hours of use. So you can see at the moment I haven't even used it 1 hour. That's how new this machine is. So what that feature does, if somebody comes to you to sell a Nokta Legend in the future and says, oh, I've only used it for a couple of times and this has 175 hours on it, you know it's not been used just a couple of times. It's a really good feature. A really, really, really good feature. So we're going to come back out of the menu now. We're back in again in the field mode, multi-frequency 1. The sensitivity is about not even halfway. And what we'll probably do now is go and have a little bit of a search on the test bed to see how this machine performs. So that's just running through the program as I understand it. Like I said, I unboxed this yesterday. I tried my best to understand it. The one good thing about Nokta is this. Another good thing about Nokta, I should say, not one good thing, is I'll get this out for you to have a look. It comes with a rather comprehensive manual. Now, I'm going to turn this machine off. That's it off. Just to show you through this manual, folks. At the moment, I'm not sticking my neck too far on the block. At the moment, I have not seen too many metal detectors or manufacturers of metal detectors producing such a comprehensive manual as this. Look at the size of it, A4, and it's got some really, really, really informative information in this manual. It tells you everything that you need to know about this detector. I'm not going to bore you with too much talk about it, but that gives you some idea how good that is. It's like a little Bible, folks. That'll be well worth its weight in gold. So let's go and give it a go to see how it performs on the test bed. Hopefully, you know, it'll be an enjoyable experience. Right, we're back on the Unearthed test bed with the Legend, and I've turned it on. We're on, just for this test, we're on field mode, multi 1. I've got the sensitivity at 25, so I've not maxed it out. I've got it on 2-tone. I'm just going to do a ground balance, folks, so we'll just have to find a little area where it's nice and clear. We hold this button in and pump the coil 3 or 4 times. 55 on the screen. Perfect, perfect. Right, we're ready to search. So I'll give it a watch. Let's see what we can pull up. I have actually buried some hammered coins on here, about 5 to 6 inches deep. Pennies, half pennies, that sort of thing. And we are, folks, above power lines, right above us. 3-phase junction box in that corner. Let's just... Surface find. That's a surface find right on the top. And the reason why we know that, because it's giving a double blip. These things are extremely accurate on targets. Extremely. Just ignore the sheep, folks. They're just wandering around thinking they're going to get fed again, but they're not. First signal. This is a Roman bronze, quite a thick coin. Down about, I would say, 7 inches. It's been down there for some time, probably down about 8 or 9 years now. 42 on the screen, pretty steady. Dead accurate, mate. Just locks onto the target as we expected. There's a lot of targets on this. That's jumping around a little bit. So actually a little bit of... It's having it. Let's go and see if we can pick up one of these hammered coins. Like I said, there's a hammered penny on here, hammered halfpenny. I've just added to it recently, last 6 months. And if we turn this way, I'll get rid of my shadow. I'm not actually sure what hammered coins come up at. Let's go and see if we can get it. That's a hammered coin, folks. That's a hammered penny. So 1718. So quite low numbers for silver. Quite low numbers for hammered coins, folks. Remember that. Now, if you don't believe me, I can dig it out and show you. But I'm sure you trust me by now. But that is a hammered coin. 3/4 of a hammered coin. There's a bit of a split in it. Number 1718. So absolutely bang. That's, like I said, it's down about 5, maybe 6 inches. It's not going to miss that. Look at that. I didn't expect anything else from this machine. I think it's going to be a bit of a winner. You know, we've brought machines on this test bed that have performed really poorly, but you know, the Equinox, the Vanquish machines, the Nokta machines, the Simplex smashed it out, and this is doing the same. Slightly deeper target this time. Now this is interesting. This is a buckle, because I remember burying it. I'm just trying to line it up with the fence posts. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. Maybe 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in. This is a deeper buckle, but look at the numbers. 35. And every now and then it puts a 60 in. Pretty accurate though now, as I'm turning. Do you know what? It's not a problem for this machine. Not a problem. Another surface, relatively shallow target. We've got milled silver on here. We've got hammered silver. We've even got a bit of gold on here, a bit of a split gold ring. It's pretty much bread and butter stuff with this machine. What we'll do is, because the Unearthed test bed needs a little bit of a revamp, I think. We've got iron buried on here, of course. I think what we'll do is with this machine, especially on the Unearthed organised dig next week, we'll bring it along and I'll use it, because I know these fields will produce them next week, so I think it'll be a pretty damn good test for it. But yeah, up to now, very, very happy with this machine. Now then, folks, can you remember when we buried the deep hoard on here? Well, we're on the patch, and it's performing pretty much like the other machines performed on it. It's a scratchy signal. It's getting it some ways, but not always. Just remember, if you watch some of my early films, me and Tap buried a bronze Roman hoard down about, was it 25 inches? I think it was, with a bit of iron knocking about. It's embedded now. It's been down there a few years. This is it. 26 on the, 60. Jumping about the numbers, but it's having it. Now that's really good news. We're in field multi 1, 2-tone. Sensitivity's not maxed out. We're not searching in all metal, we're in discrim mode, and it's having it. Now if you come across that, you dig it, the numbers are stable. It was jumping around before, but if I turn, not having it. Just a blip. Come back round. Do apologise for the siren in the background, folks. There, look. It's having it. It's a very tricky. Oh, there, look at that. So it's hitting it pretty bang on at that angle. Some angles are a bit iffy. You know, this road used to be the quietest road and they made it an ambulance route, and all you hear all day long is sirens. God, get me away from humans, please. Bloody nuisance. Anyway, there you go, folks. It's having it. It's having it. You can experiment with that all day long. Oh, hang on. Now then, remember when I talked about that little bit of a gold ring, the split gold ring? This is it. Now the 9 carat. Very thin, 16. Okay, so it's given me enough food for thought now to know that this machine's going to be a winner. I like it, I like the balance, I like the grip. It's actually better balanced than most machines that I've used in the past. Bigger coin this time, folks. Christ, banging that out, absolutely banging it out. Double blip, it's only shallow. We can't do the whole test bed, folks, because I've got a heck of a lot of rubbish after the storms. Look at that lot. All the storms and rubbish we collected over winter needs to be burnt and recycled. So we've got a lot of targets buried in there. Let's just go back. Banging them out, banging the targets out. So yeah, I'm happy with what I've seen up to now, I really am, and this is its first ever outing, remember. Now, I'm going to turn the machine off in a minute. We're going to search around for another target before we do that, just to see how we get on. There. Bang, bang. Look at that. Just having it. Just lovely and stable, locks onto the target. Not a problem. I'm going to turn the machine off. Thank you very much. I'm going to walk you over to my trailer. I'm just going to show you the wireless headphones before we finish, and I'll answer one or two questions because there has been questions coming through. Here's the headphones that it comes with, folks. Very, very good quality. These are the new wireless headphones from Nokta. Long press, next track, one press volume, long press previous track on there so that the sticker can come off. Got the Nokta Macro logo there, the adjuster as well, pretty damn good. Good, decent quality of them headphones. People are going to ask me, would I use this machine? Would I use this machine over my current machine? And the answer is, at the moment, and this is only me just putting it out there, I would use it either or. I like it. I liked a lot of machines that I've tested over the years. I like this because it's well balanced, it's got lots of cool features, it's multi-frequency, it can pretty much be used anywhere. It's a true all-terrain detector. So a lot of these companies and manufacturers of detectors call them all-terrain. They're nothing like all-terrain, some of them. The single-frequency ones don't work well on the beaches and the wet sand. This thing does. I did forget to say, also, when you're in the beach mode, you can alter it for salt. So you've got a salt setting built into this, which you can alter, which gives you a bit more stability on the wet sand. I didn't alter it yesterday, so I need to go back to the beach and try again with it. But it did work. It did work fine. It was absolutely fine, apart from the aluminium scrap that I was digging up. But the answer is now, yes, I would use it, and I'm going to use it. I'm quite happy to use this machine. You know, there's nothing wrong with my current machine. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to get into this war of my machine's better than that. But depending on my mood, I could pick either or up on the day, and that's pretty damn good for this detector. So you've seen it work on the test bed, which is pretty bread and butter stuff. It picked the horde up at them angles. If you remember back on the hordes, 2 or 3 machines really struggled with it on certain angles. This hit it in 2 or 3 of the angles, which is good. The real test will be on true land. I'm going to use it next week on the organised dig. Let's see what it brings up. Thanks for watching, folks. Please leave a comment or 2. Bye for now.